would like you all to close your eyes and imagine yourself rowing amidst choppy waters. Your limbs ache, your fingers blister as you heave through the sweltering heat to the point of exhaustion. Now, you may be asking yourselves, why would anyone put themselves through this? Well, what if the very next day you found yourself rowing down a perfect glassy lake on a beautiful summer's day? Your effortless strokes propel you forward and your mind is free of any worries. This perfect moment when you find your stroke could only come to fruition with hard work, intense training, and unwavering commitment. My name is Anais Reinsch, and today I'll be discussing how to build such resilience in the face of change. In other words, how to find your stroke. I'm sure you all remember lockdown. It was an incredibly difficult time for each and every one of us. And this time was particularly challenging for me because it was during this time that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. She had to undergo numerous surgeries, chemotherapy, as well as radiation, and she was extremely ill, so my sister and I had to take care of her. And it was at this low point in my life that my mom gave me the opportunity to do something radical. So the following summer, I moved from a small town in Germany to Dallas, Texas. And it was a terrifying and daunting experience to find myself in this new community, this new country where I lacked the support system that I'd always had in place. And the message that I want to share with you today is about how we can transform these difficulties and these hardships into opportunities to find a sense of joy and to find a sense of purpose. And for me, finding my joy came through learning how to row. One of the first things I learned in rowing is there will always be times when we catch crabs, which is essentially when your oar slices deep into the water, ultimately stopping the boat completely. There might even be times when you get hit in the face by an oar during a race. Yes, this happened to me. Or maybe you just lose direction. Today, I want to explain to you ways in which you can navigate a changing world, become more resilient, and ultimately transform your life. Growing up, my mother used to say, "Get out there and fail," which always made my sister and I laugh, but it did encourage us to try things we knew we weren't good at. When my mom was growing up, she was terrified of public speaking, but she kept standing up and she kept giving speeches. Even though her voice shook, she mixed up her lines and forgot her words. Now, she regularly gives presentations to large audiences, which she enjoys because she's learned to improve from her mistakes. Most of us tend to shy away from anything which we don't think we'll be good at. Maybe you can remember a time when you wanted to try something new, but you felt too embarrassed or too ashamed. Well, the truth is, we can only fully enjoy something if we completely throw ourselves into it without caring about what others might think. In her book, Option B, Sheryl Sandberg discusses that over time, psychologists have found that we tend to regret the chances we missed, not the chances we took. When I first moved to Dallas, I was extremely reluctant to try out for the rowing team, as I had never rowed before and I was afraid of how everyone would perceive me. But I pushed myself to be brave and go for it. Even after I made the team, I was afraid of letting my boat down, of not pulling my weight, but I soon learned to overcome my fears. That team became my family, and it really didn't matter how we performed on the water because we always had a blast. So what I'm trying to say is whether it's a big change, like moving countries, or a small change, like trying out for a new team, it is essential that we are courageous enough to put ourselves out there to try new things. One of the most effective ways to find our stroke is to spend time doing whatever gives us flow. Now, by definition, flow is the state of mind in which we are fully immersed in an activity, which I found in rowing. Rowing taught me to just let go and enjoy every moment that I spend on the water. And it's particularly special because of the synchronized group flow experience. Rather than standing out, as a rower, you want to blend in with your boat completely. In order to win, you need to mirror the rowers in your boat exactly, from the squaring of the blade to their pace and their stamina. You become one unit, completely reliant on one another, and everyone follows the rower at the stern of the boat, also known as the stroke. During that time with my teammates on the water, time simply slips away, and I am solely focused on the clicking of our oarlocks in perfect rhythm. Today, I encourage you to seek out whatever it is that gives you flow and to pursue it with zeal, because those are the activities that will give you joy and help you build resilience. Rowing looks graceful and can be beautiful even to watch, but it is truly exhausting. This is because it utilizes all of the major muscle groups and is extremely aerobic. A common misconception is that rowing primarily uses the arm muscles. This is wrong. In reality, rowing is approximately 70% of your legs, 20% of your back, and 10% or even less of your arms. It ranks as one of the highest VO2 sports, which is essentially a measurement of the maximum amount of oxygen your body can utilize during an exercise. And according to US Rowing, physiologists claim that rowing a 2,000-meter race is like playing back-to-back basketball games. And in order to be able to do this, you need incredible endurance. One could almost see it as a test of your commitment. Many times, I have found myself in the middle of a race or doing a piece on the ergometer, which is a rowing machine, and doubtful thoughts begin to creep in. I'm starting to think about quitting, but I don't. And that is essentially what rowing is about. It's about refusing to give up and going the distance. And once that's done, being able to share your success with your teammates. And in order to eliminate this self-doubt, you need to strengthen your core. And I'm not talking about physical fitness. I'm talking about your inner core. One could do this by picturing success. I have found that it is one of the best methods of overcoming doubt or anxiety you may have about any race, test, or big event. Additionally, visualizing beforehand can reduce anxiety dramatically. For example, the night before a race, my teammates will plan out everything, from our stroke rate at different legs of the race to exactly what our coxswain will say. I imagine my breathing, how my body will feel, and I travel the course in my mind. This is an extremely powerful strategy, which I've learned can be applied to countless aspects of life. But the most important part of building resilience is positivity. Increasing our happiness allows us to achieve more than we think is possible. So how can we embrace a more positive attitude? Well, one can do this by engaging in group activities like sports or clubs that allow us to feel connected to others. One can also do this by spending time with loved ones, animals, family. Even just being out in nature can be transformational. Just take a look at this picture that my coach took during practice. All of these are extremely important aspects to strengthening your inner core and building your endurance, your resilience, and your joy. Another amazing way to find your stroke is to pay it forwards. Nothing feels better than giving back and sharing your experience and your passion with others. One way we can give back is to provide opportunities to those who lack access to enriching activities like rowing. For instance, my former rowing team frequently taught neighboring communities how to use rowing machines. And it truly felt amazing to be able to share this passion that we all mutually cared so much for. There are wonderful programs like STEM to Stern, which promote inclusivity and diversity within sports like rowing. So please take the time to share your passion, and it will grow exponentially. Once you find your passion, you will discover your incredible potential to do things you might have never thought possible. This year, after only 2 semesters of rowing, my boat and I went to nationals where we came in 4th place. Our grueling workouts, steadfast determination, and resilience born from passion made this possible. Now that the year is over, I have moved back to Germany, where I will row on a team comprised almost entirely of boys. And I won't lie, the idea of rowing on a team of boys that I don't know without my friends is daunting. But rowing for an all-girls team has taught me to have courage and to pursue my dreams no matter what. So I'm confident that I will find my flow on these new waters. I hope today I have inspired each and every one of you to find your passion, whatever that may be, and that you have the courage to explore it fully while strengthening your inner core with joy and with fervor. And never be afraid to steer your own boat. Thank you.